you. Sorry about that. You know, sometimes some of these things happen, but we're here now to make it up to you. Let's begin the press review now with bringing you stories making their headlines in front of ABS website. Dispensation of Justice. Anambra State Attorney General calls for respect for rule of law, due process. 2023 Road Safety Day, FRSC increases public enlightenment safety awareness activities. Yuletide, closed lane of Oba axis of Onitsha Expressway opens to traffic soon. Anambra State records best tuberculosis treatment coverage. That's a report coming from WHO. We have to applaud Anambra State for this. It's a great feat. What a great feat to record.
Yes, it's a cheering news and a welcome development. I was in the radio studio the other 2 days ago. The NECO exam. So I was telling I am always proud to identify as Onyanambra.
To be Onyanambra. Honestly, success gives joy. You know, the day we talked about that girl, you know, I was talking about a young boy that I knew very well. In fact, I was carrying them from school when they were small. The guy got 9 A's during the WAEC, and just last 2 weeks he made best in medicine, then overall best graduate. It was such a joy for people, and I said Anambra to the world. You know, we are always best.
And you know, that is why even in the family, always happy with their child who gives the family a good image, good impression. And like even the Bible says it, that the father is not always happy with their child who brings shame to the family. So that is the point. So, but my thing is that that resourcefulness, ingenuity in the life of every Igbo man, and especially Anambrans. So that is why we believe in hard work, struggle, you know, proving your worth. So that is it. So I want to congratulate Andy Anambra and the ministry involved for that feat.
And you know, the reward for more work. I know the government of the day must be very happy for this record, and this calls for all hands to be on deck for us to achieve more. We should not be relegated, or we should not relax.
Yes,
you know,
because good thing begets good thing, and that's why I said I congratulate even the government. So the reward of hard work is more work. So people, and I always say that it may be easy to get to the top, but to maintain staying at the top is another thing. So we must endeavor to maintain that good record. Then let me also congratulate the government or who are the authorities concerned for the opening of Onitsha Road, because the Utah is around the corner, and we know that that road is a busy road, so it ought to be opened. So everything must be put in shape to open it, and then some other titles listed in the WebBS website.
Okay, let's run the first paper.
Okay, so let's look at Daily Sun. He says here, Labour reaches truce with federal government, suspend strike. The writer day says, NLC appreciates members for compliance. We also have Nigeria sliding into totalitarianism, says PDP. As the writer day says, as party senators settle for North Central for minority leader. We also have why we cancelled 264 visas of 204 Nigerians, Saudi Arabia. And lastly, federal government confirms arrest of Ajero's attackers. And the writer there actually says, you lack sufficient information. TUC replies Oshomelu over comment on NLC presidents.
A lot of stories.
A lot of stories indeed. A lot of stories indeed. Funny stories. Now,
Call them funny.
that's now because sometimes you start to wonder what is happening in this our nation. Now, is it the Igbos? They used to say, "Okwu akanama geje go mahia." Now, look at the federal government is telling us that they have arrested, even from yesterday, people were saying, I think one
News came yesterday, actually.
yes, yes. That's the time the National Security Advisor started started moving into this thing. And he said that they have arrested. I think I read somebody, a journalist and an analyst. He said his verdict is if among the people arrested, they did not arrest the man in Douglas Road or where, then they have arrested wrong people.
All right. There's something that is coming to my mind. This Saudi Arabia issue.
That's another funny
If Nigeria is a country that wants to protect their integrity, want to reclaim their glory, there is no way that they could not follow up this issue. Now, the question is, these people, you said their visas were not properly filled. They paid for the visa. They filled the form. They went for interview. You issued them visa. Then they bought their tickets for the travel. Are they going to be repaid? All the expenses they've made, are they going to get their refund? That's a big question.
Let me just tell you. That's why I said initially that these are funny stories. I'm telling you, I saw the headline and I said these are funny stories. But you know the funny thing? Do you know that our president was in Saudi Arabia negotiating for Arab bank this thing? The thing happened there. Is it not a big slight? They did not even respect that our president was there. They just, and
that brings me
disgraced Nigerians.
We had a chat with somebody recently, an Anambra man that lives in the US. The man was of the opinion that you are not supposed to collect money from somebody before issuing visa. The person is supposed to get visa and pay for the visa, and not you pay for the visa.
That is it.
And when they refuse you visa, they don't refund you.
That will show you that Nigeria does not have any image again internationally. That's the point I'm telling you. And that is why you were saying, following it up. If they have any respect for this nation in the global arena, in the international political arena, some nations, you cannot try do it.
But this should not be swept under the carpet.
That is the who will follow it. The president is already another nation.
You know, when we don't do
Jumping
anything
from here
concerning this, it will continue to, repeat itself. Now, who issued the visa in the first place? Is it fake visa? They should let us know. Then, in the process of issuing the visa, why was it not found out that the forms were not properly filled?
And why taking the people from here
to Saudi?
Then you rejected them and brought them back. What type of disgrace is that? Somebody that has told the family, bye-bye.
Not only the expenses, all the expenses.
That's the point I'm telling you. The expenses.
No place, if you want to travel now, it's not cheap. To even travel from Anambra to Abuja is not cheap.
That's what
How much more traveling from Abuja?
They'll get to compensate them because this is quite huge.
I'm just telling you that if you want to go legally, that the inconvenience put on that person, apart from the cost. And that's what I'm telling you.
All right, let's run. We keep our fingers crossed and believe that something positive will come out from that. The Punch newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Punch. Labour suspends strike. OPS stakeholders tackle NLC TUC with riders there. Strike over Ajero assaults abuse of power, says LCCI. Maritime sector loses 20 billion naira. Labour threatens to resume strike, insists on demands, says suspension temporary. FG reduces charges against Emefiele. Strike stalls arraignment. 177 deported Nigerians violated Saudi Arabia visa rules. Embassy speaking. Lagos Kogi Rivers lead as inflation hits 27.33%. LP welcomes Atiku's merger proposal. NNPP gives condition. Navy arrests 4 stowaways aboard Dubai vessel. LASG dislodges arrest street traders in Oshodi. Others. Okay, a lot of stories there. You know, Atiku has been calling for merger of other political parties. Actually, somebody here, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, said he was amongst the people that came together to build APC that threw away Jonathan in his own time. So now he's coming up again. And NNPP is giving condition. LP has accepted. Okay, what's your take on that?
Well, actually, we know that politicians are only interested in what benefits them. There is self-interest, personal interest. That is the one. Look at Nwike, look at all of them. Just as they said, the analyst said, Atiku, we know how they messed up PDP. We know that. And we know why even this last one now, he messed up PDP. Because they did not respect the zoning principle. That is why PDP fell woefully. And because of his ambition. Look at the one who won now. Tinubu, is it not because of Buhari wanted to rule at all costs? Tinubu wanted to rule at all costs. That is why they had to merge. But do you know why I will support that merger? Nigeria is heading somewhere. I was saying it 2 days ago in the radio station. People may not understand it now. If we do not check what is happening now, it may be very disastrous. So, there is supposed to be a vibrant opposition in any growing democracy, in any good democracy. There are supposed to be opposition. It is one of the principles of democracy. But where we are now doing it by ruling by all manner of methods, somebody said convergence of vultures and serpents. Where you see brigandage, you must obey. Look at what is happening now. NLC and this thing, TUC. The leader of NLC beaten for the first time. Have you ever had it since you started growing up? Have you ever heard about change? That is the point. So what I'm saying, and so like this thing that NLC TUC did now, it is good to checkmate where we are heading to. I'm telling you.
But the manner of the kind of striking action we are experiencing these days, you begin to ask, is this child's play? That, you know, you go to strike today,
so many
midnight
people, so many people are blaming Ajero that he gave room for this. But you know why? We say power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. If not for this thing now, I thank God that they organized themselves to do this. At least for the first time, something that we bother this administration. That, something paralyzed the whole system. If not, you will see that tomorrow, they may even start kidnapping human rights activists. Or so any opposition you raise, you will be eliminated. So that is why we must speak out. So if they can merge to bring up a strong opposition, that will
have the interest of the masses at heart, or their personal interest as usual.
Even if even if they are going to still do the personal. Look at the LP people that we have voted in. Are they not among the people who are signed for SUG? And they were defending, even when the party said, reject this. But the point, look at the point I'm making. Where you have a one-party system, where nobody has conscience again. People are jumping into PAP just to what they will grab. That means that the poor masses will no longer, but at least when two elephants are fighting, When they are clashing, maybe they have clash of interest, then maybe the masses can even voice out. Even if we are not obeyed, you can have say.
Okay, the next paper here is Daily Independence, and it says analysts fear food inflation may spike as Yuletide becomes.
It's already on the high side.
No,
Nigeria sliding into totalitarianism, anarchy, PDP raising the alarm. Lagos Gubernatorial Appeal Court upholds Sanwo-Olu and Hamzat's victory. And we also have here custom intercepts 3.55 billion naira tramadol at MMA. Net 74.2 billion naira revenue. And lastly, we have NLC TUC suspends 2-day-old strike.
Okay, so just as I was saying, you can see that this strike now, we are there not there. All the time that Ajero was beaten, they did not arrest the people. When they were calling for, even Falana said, IG, arrest the people, nobody responded. No proactive action. So only when the NLC went on strike, that is when they got the people who did it. So that's
Can we really talk about the high inflation? Or inflation hits 27.33%. That's the percentage you're seeing now. And analysts are saying that it will, food inflation may spike. Can we tell them that the high is already high?
It's what do you expect?
4.5 liters of groundnut oil, good ones, 20,000 naira. It's not up to 5 liters.
My sister, what I'm telling you is, I was telling them 2 days ago that this nation is paining. The pains of this nation. If you don't check yourself, now people may not know it now, but even right now, people are dying daily. People are dying daily. All manner of deaths that are unprecedented. But people may not even foresee what is coming. That's why I say, look at now, even as I finish now, we read about Nigeria is heading to this. That is what I'm saying. Nobody is caring about the welfare of the masses. I sent text to somebody in US last night. I was saying that Naira is almost worthless. That is the text I said. Naira, since you were born, could you have imagined that you will live to see Naira becoming $1 will become 1,000 plus Naira? Even during the people who were old enough during the war, they used to say ego mege. Is it as worthless as what we are having today? And yet we are existing in the same economy, or a global economy. So that is it. So let them know that we are already dying.
Let's see stories making the headlines on The Nation newspaper. In front of The Nations, we have reforms come with pains, but inevitable, says government. Says federal government. I hope they are also feeling the pains, just like every other person. There will be transparency in budgeting? Yes. Okay. Then president's job creation a priority. Okay, these are riders on the reforms. Let's see them come to reality. Word to Shaibu, run for governor. Government's efforts, to halt soaring inflation. Senate moves to create Federal Delta Bank. A former finance minister, Oladipo Osholoye, dies at 90. Labor calls of strike after talks with NSA ministers. Saudi government, we've seen that before. Let's look at that banner headlines. Reforms come with pains, but inevitable, says federal government. And I said, I hope they are also feeling the pains of Nigerians.
You are the one saying that. To me, what I say is that these people, they are taking us for a ride. They think that they are talking to, people in a nursery school. They are just joking with us. Do you know why? The reforms comes with pains. Now, yet, the presidency has a cabinet of 40-something, over innumerable assistants and advice, and still counting. Then they are buying UV cars. And then each minister is entitled to about 4 or 5. Look at the entourage of the president.
That's why I hope
do you know
they are
that?
feeling,
No,
are also feeling
I'm
the
not
pains.
hoping anything. What I'm saying is that they are just joking. They are just playing with us. Now, you know why I was talking about that measure? People like Peter Obi, and do you think that if not for they are fearing look at it, even when you speak, somebody in the like Peter Obi will speak, then Rorito Onochie will be ordering government to arrest him. He has not done anything. He did not incite anything, but speaking, which is the beauty of democracy, that the minority will have a say, but the majority will have their way. Even if the person is in the minority, you allow him to speak. So if they cannot hear people like Peter Obi, and they will be asked to be arrested, how many times have they threatened to arrest him? His deputy, the vice, arrested. If not that they know that Atiku, they cannot arrest him because of Fulani's influence, they would have been calling for his arrest also. Now, tell me how a common man will then speak. So that is why I'm talking, let us have a formidable force that will be opposing the other, so that even if a neutral person can, under that umbrella, speak out. If not, they're playing. They are just messing up this nation.
All right, can we go on to the next paper?
Wonderful stories in The Guardian. It says here, currency depreciation, high energy costs worsens inflation outlook. You can see here, fuel price is now 617 naira per liter, and diesel over 1,200 per liter. It also says here, reps demands implementation of 550 billion naira subsidy removal palliative. NLC TUC suspend strikes, asks federal government to reciprocate gestures. Strengthen EFCC chair to sustain anti-corruption campaign. And lastly, NNPCL flags currency crisis as barriers to investment.
So if you look at all these things are coming in different versions and the captions in different papers. Currency depreciation. Is it not the same thing we are talking? Prices of things. So, and then the nation becoming autocratic state. So these things, price of fuel, price of cooking gas, price of this, price of that. If these people have conscience, because of the outcry of the masses about these cars and the flamboyant lifestyle of the executive and the directorate, I was thinking that they would have reconsidered the buying of this car. But even before people were crying, they said the cars have not already been bought. It's already arriving. So what are they preaching to me? That the president is jumping from here to here. I was listening to some people.
All right, let's see. Stories making the headlines in front of the Daily Trust newspaper. Daily Trust, 2 children killed as fire raises 1,113 houses at Borno IDP camp. What a sad story. After grounding FCT states for 2 days, Labour suspends strike. Israel wants to turn Gaza unlivable city, Palestinian envoy speaking. While we deported Nigerian passengers, Saudi authorities. Inflation hit 27.3% as cost of food others rise. Nigeria loses 1.3 trillion on waivers concessions. That's coming from customs. Senate wants Port Harcourt Maiduguri Rail upgraded to standard gauge. Minority leadership, PDP senators settle for North Central. And the pictures in front of the paper is that fire, that the Borno ID camp that has been raised by fire. And one begins to ask questions. We were, displaced from our homes. And there was a makeshift for us to stay until we are able to go back to our places. And now this. What's next? Or what's the hope for these people? And we have leaders in this
That's
country.
very unfortunate. How can we, is it not one of the leaders that said that the money that was brought for IDP camps, they swallowed it? So it's just having our hopes on God, because otherwise the poor have no place in Nigeria. And then majority, more than 90% are poor, because they have made this nation that way.
And this story now, look at the number of houses, 1,113. Does it mean that there are no people that foresaw that the place is not habitable as it should? Because for this number of houses to be gutted, that means the place was not well built.
And there was no fire, no fire extinguisher, no government institution that is responsible, firefighters, until about that number was consumed. So that is what you would think. Look at, that's what I'm talking about, the system.
And
the life of people involved. Nobody cares. May God have mercy. When you start to think of this nation, you will get high BP.
Okay, let's see. Israel wants to turn Gaza unlivable city. That's coming from, at least let's have a touch of a foreign story.
Yes.
In part of what we are doing here. Because sometimes I tell people that the whole world is in trouble.
Yes, actually I'm interested in that story because even 2 days ago I made a comment online about it. Now, that is a lesson for everyone and for the world. Now, what do we know? In Igbo, they used to say, never ask a man, "Ajuna nwoke gini ka ọ ga-emenwu?" I always emphasize on,
They were on their own.
Equitable justice.
On their own. You just came.
Don't provoke attack. I have been posting it. Don't touch the tail of a lion. Whether they do, the Arabs, the Hamas, they know Israel. They know, even biblically. When I was growing up,
what was on their mind?
When I was growing up, I saw when the then prime minister of Israel, was discussing with the then president of America about this Arab issue again. So the president was cautioning, rebuking the prime minister. The prime minister of Israel was replying. He said, maybe you have forgotten that the Jews, I don't forget this quote, maybe you have forgotten that the Jews never worship anybody except their God. I always...
And they equally make similar comments in this particular crisis that is going on. They say that by the time they have done with these people, they will know that there is a God in Israel.
Even they said it boldly before the United Nations, that they are the lions of Judah. They said it even before this war started. The prime minister called on them, said this is going to be let them prepare for a very long war that will ensue. And that I heard that their representative came to the United Nations and tore the paper. Now, what am I saying? I am not supposing the justice demands that God does not vindicate the guilty.
Okay, another story here. Nigeria loses 1.3 trillion naira on waivers, concessions coming from custom. Who is responsible for this, or who should be held responsible for this?
I thought you said, let us, don't mind those people. One analyst said I don't want
We
to
should
say
not
that
mind them. When we are crying that we don't have money, the one we have, we are losing it.
the one somebody was
1.3
saying,
trillion is not million, it's not billion, it's trillion.
did they take those things as anything now? Calling billions and trillions doesn't make any meaning again in Nigeria. It doesn't mean anything because they don't take it to be anything. Even people will be dying in hundreds and thousands. The president, the leaders don't take it as anything. Now, somebody was saying that I will not call them criminals. And I follow to say, in whatever they are doing, I will not, the one is being tempted to say that they are criminals, but I will not say that they are criminals. They are just open, all commerce affair. They are just from everybody is robbing from any quarter. No problem.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay,
Next
I think
paper.
the last paper for today, Nigerian Tribune. It says here, after meeting with NSA, Labour suspends strike. The writer there says federal government regrets attack on NLC president, says investigation in progress, arrest made. Inflation rate jumped to 27.33% as food cost rises by 31.52. We also have the OAU lecturer slums and dies in his office.
Oh.
$6 billion partnership with AFCTA to transform trade across Africa, UBA. And I think we've seen this story before. 2 killed, 1,000 houses burned as fire engulfs IDP camps in Borno State. Minority leader, PDP senators settle for North Central. New River CP orders arrest of notorious cultists. 2 Baba, other criminals.
Then one party state, PDP, APC, Bika. You know, a lot of stories. Ex-finance minister Ona Olapo Sholeye dies at 90. Okay, we've seen that. Appeal court confirms Sanwo-Olu's re-election. Why 177 Nigerian passengers' visas were cancelled? Saudi embassy speaking. At editors' conference, Tinubu restates commitment to economic recovery. Okay, that's the much we have in front of the Nigerian Tribune. Look at the lecturer that went to work. You're leaving in the morning and your family says bye, expecting to see you later in the day, only for the news to come that he has slumped and died.
Last 2 weeks or last week, one of our lecturers in law school at Abuja campus, we just had the sudden news. Many of us were interested to know what happened to the man because so until we heard that he went to represent the DG of law school in a function, and they have just finished. I was thinking, was he sick? They have just finished the function. For him to go back, he slumped, and before going to hospital, he died. So what I'm saying is, it's almost rampant because the environment is not conducive. People are feeling one way or the other. I was discussing with some people. I said, people in that cadre now, will you say that they don't go to check up, they don't do this, they don't check their this? But there's even the stress in the system to meet up, the anxiety, one thing or the other. So it's only God that is helping the poor masses. And look at
when you in as much as I believe that the whole world have peculiar problems, but in our case, you go out for your day's activities, struggle. At the end of the day, you get back home to rest. There will be no light. Mosquitoes will start biting you and all whatnot. Then there may be no food in the house. The woman will complain. The children will cry. Children, you can't tell children that there is no food.
That's what I'm telling you. The stress. Look at, to summarize it, a few days ago I posted it, that why other nations, even 2 days ago I said it in the studio, look at Kenya conducted the election, Liberia conducted. Other nations are moving from third world to trying to reach second world. But Nigeria is moving on at a reverse gear. From third world, we are moving to fourth world. That is the summary of the whole
That
thing.
means that skit that we watched then, that they were calling, where are you running to?
That is the summary of the whole thing.
Does it mean that is true?
There is no place you use to compare. I don't know where we are heading to. Look.
But then again, instead of us literally depending on Nigerians to take care of us, I think we should take our personal health very seriously and intentionally.
But these people that died, do you think that they wish to die? Do you think that they didn't take? That's what I'm saying. Are you sure that they are not going to check up? But you know, the stress in the system. The only thing you will advise is let everybody not, follow things, carry the whole burden the way it is. Otherwise, you may break down. That is just the simple thing. Breaking down is not a physical breakdown, but because of if you carry the whole thing on your body. So that is the point.
Okay, we are still on. I don't know which other stories may interest you before we wrap up the show in front of the Nigerian Tribune. We've talked one-party state, PDP, APC, BK. Can we quickly talk about it before we wrap up the show?
Yes, I was saying, and that's why I said before that we must have a vibrant opposition. It is necessary in democracy. So that is why I encourage, if we measure anything, for us to have one opposition that will be criticizing the government, for them to sit up. Look at now this labor issue. They said that government said that the investigation on is in top gear. Go and mark it somewhere. If you will ever get the result of that investigation, this is the end of the whole thing.
Okay, we can go on and on, but I think that's the much time could allow us to take on the press review this morning. And we believe that you are here with us. A lot of stories making their headlines in front of the papers. You can get details, when you pick one or two papers out there and see yourself what has been going on. Thank you so much, Simon Eze for being here this morning. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, our viewers and every other person. Okay. May we have our hope that tomorrow must be all right.
All right, for my colleague.
Okay, so I personally believe tomorrow will be better. Thank you for being a part of today's press review. I am Geraldine.
All right, my name is Nonye. Let's hope that you're still there because we have more coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show. Do stay.
All my friends have gone home. I was thinking you can give me a ride.
Me? Give you a ride in my car?
Oh, yes. There's something you can do.
Yeah.
You go to the lawyer and tell him to file a divorce for both of us. And you will see I will jump into the sky for joy.
Yes, of course I
Don't touch me.
am.
Don't touch me. Don't you do that.
I am crazy for your love.